All right, so we are recording. But,
Awesome. And those blankets good?
Oh yeah, it's
Listen to the
fine.
shot? Okay.
and like I was saying, like as far as any thoughts for like with what we're navigating and stuff, like I'd prefer you to drill in deep.
Okay.
You
What would
know.
you do if I just had a list of shit that was off limits?
Oh no,
That would be
yeah.
cool. It may take a few hours
Yeah.
to go through it, but we'd be all right with that.
So Eddie Pinero. I mean, I'm just gonna kick this off, and I'll air this right in here. This is awesome. I appreciate this, man, and it's kind of weird, as I was just saying. I've listened to you for probably like 2.5 years now, and I've never been one of those people to consistently listen to the same person's content or anything like that. But I found it really beneficial, and then one day I realized I'm like, man, I wonder how many people you're life coaching for free. And
Yeah.
that's got to be a
Interesting
thought of
thought.
yours, because that
Mhm.
you've had an impact, I know, on a lot of people outside of myself. I look at a lot of your the comments and stuff, and I see people's reactions to stuff, different videos that you've posted, and it's,
It was like everything you say when I first started listening to too. I was just like, oh my gosh, like that is like you're using these really beautiful words, and it hits you like you feel so relatable. I'm like this guy gets it.
Oh, well,
You
thank
know?
you guys. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's the beauty of scale. It's just so nice to be able to do that.
yeah.
And I'm grateful you guys are here. I feel like it's been a long time coming. You know, like because
Yeah.
we've been talking for a while, and obviously you live on the other side of the country. But
Yeah.
it's
Sounds
just
funny,
it's
but yeah.
fun to have you here. You know,
Yeah,
So,
we're thankful that
it's
you're
beautiful.
that you invited us here
Mhm.
for sure,
Awesome.
like in your home. And
I've had in my mind, when we were driving over here, I was saying to her, I'm like, a great question for you is like, how are you doing? Because I know, and I've heard you talk about 7 years of like no growth, and I've heard that brought up a bunch. But outside of that, obviously you've had growth and you've established yourself and your brand. Like, do you feel like I do? Whereas whenever I accomplish something, it's like a temporary, like, yes, I did it, I feel great. Then like a week goes by and you got to have more. You got to have more.
like the next thing, you've got to
Yeah.
get something else.
It's such a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, you build something and it's fun, and then you get that little bit of excitement, and then the ceiling becomes normal, becomes the
Mhm.
floor.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I've learned, because you're right, that's a forever thing. Like
Yeah.
that'll never, especially if you're ambitious and driven and just want to see what's out there and push boundaries, like that's life. But one of the things, and this is newer for me, because I've been, a lot of this stuff has been not alone, but it's like me in a studio writing
Mhm.
and recording. And since I've moved here about 2.5 years ago to Arizona,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's coincidence or what, but like the light bulb went off, and I've really started cultivating a circle of people um, that care and that are
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
And that just fixes everything. Like
Mhm.
it really does. And it takes a lot of work. And it's like you got to work on yourself. You have to have a lot of hard conversations. You have to realize there are people there that are maybe taking away more than they're giving. And the reciprocity is not
Mhm.
there. But like, my latest project, my company, Always Grateful, Never Satisfied, my two business partners, and I don't even like calling them business partners because they're like brothers. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
care about them. And
Mhm.
it's just such a different experience than someone that you're like, okay, let's make money together or let's go
Yes.
do this together.
Yeah.
It just feels more real, and it's like there's more of a push to innovate and be creative and inspire.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that's a long way of saying yes, it's been a roller coaster, but like I've really tried to emphasize surrounding myself with people that
Yeah.
make that journey better.
Yeah, it's not easy. And then I know, like, on the flip side of it, it's like when you mentioned those people that can take that away from you.
Well, it's like you are your company. So if like you're going to be around people that don't really want to work for anything, you're kind of probably going to be like that too. So when you
Yeah.
are feeling motivated and people around you are giving you that same energy, you're like, let's do this.
Oh,
Let's
100%.
get it, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what it's all
They say
about.
that you're the sum of the 5 closest people you surround
Mhm.
yourself with, and I've heard that. And I don't know, as I've gotten older, I realize how much value there is in just influence, and how much would depend on what you're consuming, what you're watching, what you're
Mhm.
listening to, and I don't know.
You know how some things are like so commonplace, like I'm not saying I'm perfect or God's gift to humanity. I'm just saying there are some times you're just a mismatch.
Yes.
But like, it's just become so normal that you just subconsciously think, okay, this is part of life. And you don't even give yourself permission to step away from it. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people experience that, whether it is people in their lives or things they're doing. It's like the light bulb doesn't go off to say, like, by not saying no, I'm saying yes to this, and I can say no.
Yeah.
And so
So
that's like
true.
a powerful realization.
Yeah. And
Mm.
I've been trying to lean into things, when I talk to certain people, they reach out and just, it's not always easy. I don't know, it's a very unsure world. And like, even like I think about that when we're driving here, I'm like, we're going to this guy's house. Like he knows us a little bit from, little interactions, but like that's leaning into something,
Yeah.
Right.
putting your trust out there in a
Yes.
world that's hard to trust. But
Scary.
I do, it is, but I think like with the way like society is, it just,
Less scary than what it is portraying.
yes.
Right.
Yeah. I
Like
think
there's more good people in the world than
there's
there are the
way
bad.
more good people out there.
Yeah.
People that do want to help do the right thing. But
How did we link? Did we have a mutual connection at one point?
yeah, Mary, Mindset Mary.
That's
Right.
what. Wow.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
her.
Oh,
Yep.
she's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
I knew there was like, that always helps too. Like when someone trustworthy is like, these people are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
it's
like,
funny.
Yep. Yeah, we were on her podcast, and actually I stumbled
Mm-hmm.
upon her because I was like, I wonder if this guy's ever. I've, at that point, never like heard you outside of like what you've put out there. I've never heard you talk to anybody, so I was like, I wonder if he's ever done anything. And I started listening to you on her podcast, but I've always been weird when it comes to this. Whereas, like, I'm like, I'd rather have a conversation with this person myself rather than listen to your story through talking to somebody else. I really don't know too much about your upbringing, and which I would love to kind of get to at least a little bit, whatever you're able to divulge into.
sure.
But
Yeah.
Open book.
and I listened to her interview you, and just, and I learned a lot, because my biggest problem doing this is listening. Sometimes I'm always so focused on what I want to say next and worried about how I'm going to look saying it or saying the right thing. And
Or it's like for me, I know what I want to say, but my brain works so much faster than what my mouth can like spit out. So I'm like, it gets jumbled, and I'm like, that didn't sound right.
Oh, I know that feeling. By the time it's time to speak, you're like,
yeah.
Right. It just is like gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, one of the core things that we focus on is overcoming adversity, which I've learned the value of adversity. I thought I knew the value of adversity prior to going through things that we went through this last summer. And I think the first time I reached out to you, I want to say it was about a year and a half ago or so. I reached out to you on Instagram, and like, you just like, oh yeah, feel free to call me anytime or something. I end up talking to you. I just want to thank you. Like at that point in time in my life, I was like going through a custody battle that was very difficult. And I thought life couldn't get any more difficult. And I've learned never to think that. And I remember speaking to you, and I think we talked for like 10, 15 minutes. I was essentially just like, hey, I'm sure you already know the impact you have on a lot of people's lives, but I'm going to add another one to you. And I wanted to ask you, what is that like, hearing somebody say that or tell you the impact you've had on other people? Like that, 'cause for me, it feels incredibly good knowing that I'm able to help other people.
it's super meaningful. Like that conversation was really powerful to me. And it's, I'm sure you get it probably, well, we're doing the same thing, right? Podcast. It's like, you share a piece of yourself, or you create something, put something into existence, hoping it'll help other people. And if it does, you get comments and you get likes and things grow.
Yeah.
But to talk to a human, it's like, dude, I was here in this spot, and just this perspective helped. Like it makes it real.
Yes.
Because the internet is a beautiful tool, and we're talking about scalability. There's nothing that beats it in comparison to,
Yeah.
but one-on-one is real.
Yeah.
And so that takes it up 20 levels.
Right.
It's probably worth mentioning for the people that do see this that haven't ever heard anything from our content. We've navigated an accident last year, which was resulted in the loss of my 16-year-old son, my 18-year-old daughter, and my ex-wife. They were killed in a car accident. And the reason why I say that's so important is I listened to a lot of different things that you've said, different quotes from various people. One of the things that stuck with me has been Admiral McRaven's, in order to change the world, you must be your very best in your darkest moments. That has echoed through my head. And I don't think I've ever told you this, but I was actually listening to Viktor Frankl's A Man's Search for Meaning a month before the accident.
Wow.
Listening to the Audible on my way to work. It's like, and I never heard of Viktor Frankl until hearing, I think, various quotes from you talking about him. I've heard, a handful of them from you. And like that within itself, there couldn't have been a better book to listen to talking about navigating adversity and the value of adversity. Not saying that's all I see is value in losing my kids. Like obviously that's not the case, but in the same sense, regardless of what you go through, like you never have any idea how many people are watching how you handle your adversity. And I think that's so important. And I'm very quick to tell people. I've always been a pretty, I say weird subjective. Weird isn't necessarily negative, and I used to worry about being different from other people, but I like people to know what we've been through, not so much for like, oh, I want your sympathy, but I'm like, hey, like, yeah, this is what we've been through or are still going through. In reality, we'll be going through this the rest of our life as far as I'm concerned. But I think it's just so important to be like, hey, like, they're not quitting. They're not going down a path of destruction and bitterness, because there's so many people that are so bitter about what they have been through in life. And they use that to rationalize their negative life decisions.
It's like the victim mentality. Like be strong and like I don't want to say move on, but don't get in a dark place and stay there. Like this life isn't to just mope around.
Yeah.
I
know. And it's like fundamentally we understand, like, don't quit, keep going, don't be a victim. When you're going through it, it's just different.
Oh, man.
And I remember that book, like the reason, because there were a lot of books that effectively say the same thing different ways.
Yeah.
But it's like the Holocaust, like the darkest hell you can imagine.
Yeah.
Not only can you survive it, but you can make something of it. And that to me was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It was just like, it really was eye-opening. And I think about it too, in terms of like, the little things I'm navigating now.
Yeah.
But you were saying life's unexpected, and it is like, there's going to be tragedy around the corner that I can't even anticipate. And you hate to say that, but just as a pragmatist, like life is ups and downs. And some of the downs are way down.
Yeah.
And you have to start thinking now that one, like life is not going to be perfect, and it's going to throw you curveballs, and that you're capable of navigating it. And I think being able to point to those examples is like, it helps build the armor.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why, I got so much value from that book.
Yeah.
McRaven quotes the same thing, like same exact idea. It's perfect to pair them, you know?
Yeah.
But
I listen to a lot of Jim Rohn quote stuff. I never heard of Jim Rohn, by the way, until you mentioned him.
he's a G. I love that guy so much.
Oh, yeah. A lot of his stuff. And I don't know if I've ever discussed any of your, like, what you've kind of navigated and stuff. So that's pretty relevant.
So I haven't really talked about a lot on social media. I really, really want to, and I know I'll have a time where I feel comfortable doing it. Certain reasons why I'm not. Before I even met him, so between 2002 and 2009, I was in a really bad relationship with an ex, very abusive, crazy. I always say it was like my Hollywood, because it didn't seem real. And right now I'm like, I went through that stuff, but it was really abusive. There were like drugs involved, and it was just like chaos. And it was kind of like Breaking Bad, like crazy stuff, And in 2009, I escaped. I was down south, went from Kentucky to New York, and like never looked back. And I feel like since I got out of that situation, it's not like I owe it to the world, but I feel like I owe it to the world to be like, I went through all this shit, and I had all these years to heal and to grow and know that I'm worthy of having a good life. And so are you. Like anybody that's going through that stuff, I have to be like, you can get through this. And I know it's really hard though, because I had a pretty good support system, and a lot of people don't have that. So I feel like the communities need to somehow do better to show these people that, yes, I know you're scared to change your situation, but there's help out there.
That's such an incredible story. Like, do you and you said you do talk about that, or you don't?
I'm really, really open, but not necessarily just on social media. But yeah, I like if off camera, if you ask me anything, I'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
Like nothing. I don't want to hide anything, because I have to tell the details for the story to mean
I
something.
was gonna say that could change someone's life. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I
Absolutely.
feel like before the day I die, like I need to get that out there because I know if it just helps one person get out of a situation like that,
Yeah.
like that's what I'm supposed to do.
It's amazing to me how like, and let me know if you guys agree with this. Like
Yeah.
it's the hindsight's 2020, right? But when you're going through something, everything feels so complex
Mm-hmm.
that you don't even like it's the simplest idea. Like I can walk away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not rocket science,
Right.
but it's what people need.
Yeah.
Right? A
You're right.
very watered down version is like, really like me not doing anything creative or taking any risks in life till my mid 20s. And it's like, oh, I don't have to live like this.
Yeah.
I can do what I want.
Mhm.
That's laughable now,
Yeah.
right? Like go live your life. But at the time, like, and so I think just putting a metaphorical hand on someone's shoulder and being like, you have more power than you think you do. Like go
Mhm.
live your life is so incredible.
Right.
So I'm sure that story is really going to touch a lot of
Yeah,
people.
like life is so short,
Yeah.
especially if you have kids. Because my kids were like 3, like 3 and 4 years old. And I always say I wish I had more to tell people of like how I got out of that situation, but a light bulb just like went off in my head. I'm like, what am I doing? Like
Yeah.
they deserve more. So like they saved me. 'Cause if it
Ooh,
was just me, I
yeah.
would have been like, God knows what would have happened. I
Yeah.
was like, what? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, well, you mentioned like simple decisions. Like it's like how many people right now are going through something that is literally a simple decision to completely change their life, and
And it is so much harder than that to people because a lot of times people are they're not brought up or in any position to be taught how to fix issues in their lives. It's ever and especially nowadays everything's so instant and if there's everyone's on their social media or cell phones and stuff, there's no interacting with people or problems. So
Yeah.
it's kind of difficult. It's not oh, just like walk away from a situation. People often be like, why did it take so long for her to leave an abusive relationship?
yeah,
And sometimes I'm like, don't ever ask that because it's so much more complicated than you think. Because most of the time it's like safety.
Yeah.
We're scared. And it's what we're used to. We're brainwashed, whatever. But it kind of is that simple. So there's a line. It's very strange.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that transitions to everything, whether it's
Right.
addiction or
Mm-hmm.
diet and stuff. It is
Mhm.
that simple of just hey, just
Right.
change what you're doing, but it's like a lot of people I think they get so down a bad path or they gain so much weight they're just like all right, screw it. But I've learned probably one of the most
Mhm.
valuable things I've ever learned is when you get in the habit of letting yourself down, it's so easy to continue that bad habit.
Mm.
There's consequences to your habits,
Or you
and
don't
but
feel
good
worthy.
or bad consequences based
Yeah.
off of what you're showing yourself you're able to do. Stay consistent.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
consistency, that's a
That's
challenge.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
is.
we think monumental pain equates to complex solutions.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
it's not, and it's like if you diagnose your friend's issues, you just go, dude, fix this, this, and this.
yeah,
Right?
Mhm.
Because it's not yours and you're not in it.
Mhm.
Like I'll never forget like a long time ago just being in this relationship that was just toxic and horrible.
Mhm.
And like when you're in it, I'm just navigating it and like
Right.
sort of adjusting who I am and like,
Mhm.
placating to all the BS. And my little brother visited and he's just like, I don't recognize you. What the hell are you
Aw.
doing?
uh,
And I like that was it. I was like, thank you. I was just like so sucked into this like
Yeah.
Yeah.
emotive,
Yeah. Wow.
like and I'll always be grateful for that. I'm like, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
It's
what?
a weird little reality check that was so simple for someone just to say something so small and you're like, what?
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like appreciate
right. Yeah.
that.
Well, it's weird. Like, imagine if he didn't visit you and say anything. Like, how long would have that gone for?
Could have been a while. Could have been a
Right.
while. Yeah. It's an interesting thought experiment.
Right? Like, what ifs?
Yeah.
You grew up in Boston area or no?
Yeah, well, military family. So I moved a lot. I was born in Japan, and then I lived in Virginia Beach, and then Chandler, Arizona.
Okay.
Chunk of my childhood in Southern California, and then high school, college in Boston.
Okay. Cool.
Wow.
So,
A lot
Yeah.
of moving.
Mm,
But my family, like my mom's from Boston, my grandparents grew up there. So like that's,
Mhm.
okay.
I guess I consider that home more than
Right.
anything else.
Your home base.
So throughout like high school and everything, you're moving around or no?
High school, I was there, like on Cape
Oh,
Cod.
okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
And then do you have a pretty decent childhood? Like, would you say
yeah, I mean, I'm
yeah.
very grateful for my childhood,
Yeah.
very supportive parents, and, they pushed
Mhm.
me, and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even now, like they're just it's one of the biggest blessings in my life. I mean, just very, very supportive
Yeah.
people.
Which is, I know you got into rowing through college and stuff,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah, I have a newfound respect for rowing after recently starting to get into it.
Jumping on
Man.
that machine.
Oh,
Yes.
my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
It is.
Trying to get
Yeah.
oxygen. I'm like, let's go.
It's
that
I
is-
say it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it's like I could do a 7, 8, 9 mile run, and I could do the
Mhm.
same amount of work, I feel like, in 20, 30 minutes. So it's like it
Mhm.
takes way more discipline for me to be able to get on the rower. However, if I need to save time, it's so much better. But
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
always like, it's funny thinking back, like I have such a love-hate relationship with that machine,
Yeah.
as I'm sure all rowers do, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it would be, on an endurance day, like 2 40-minute pieces, or, on a pressure day, like 4 or 5 5-minute pieces. And
Yeah.
you're just like
Mhm.
thinking about that all day, like through all your classes, all your stuff,
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, it was a transformative,
Yeah.
Mhm.
for sure.
But after college, you got into I remember you talking about doing something. You were interviewing for a job for like data analytics or something like that. But
Yeah.
so you were in the office scene for a while doing the typical 9 to 5 stuff.
Yeah. It was, so I went from college to basically a property casualty insurance company. They had
Okay.
something called a Future Leaders program, where like they kind of rotate you around.
Okay.
And yeah, I met some amazing people. So like it's not for me, so I kind of speak on it with disdain. But
Yeah.
some of the people that I work with there are like the most incredible people I've met.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not like nothing's ever all one thing or another.
Yep.
But it was just like fish out of water. Like I'm a pretty
Mhm.
creative guy. I like writing and making movies and music and
Yeah.
videos, and I'm sitting there being yelled at because the PowerPoint's too colorful. It's like, dude, but yeah, that's like what and it's what I thought I was supposed to do. And so a lot of people after 2, 3, 4 years there would go to a different insurance company in Boston and make a little bit more money and move up. And yeah, that's where I found myself. I was sitting at this desk
Yeah.
with this guy, and he's just like looking at, like, it's like a Seinfeld skit. He's like looking at the resume and the cover letter, and he's like, "So tell me more about how your lifelong dream is to be a data analyst." And I'm just like, I gotta get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
this is wild. Yeah. So needless to say, I never got a call back on that one. I think he saw through the noise. But yeah, it was like finding the courage to like
Mhm.
start. My journey was like producing music, playing shows around Boston,
Yep.
writing, then making videos, and just one thing led to another. But it just all feels so stupid and pointless when it deviates from what you think you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And when there's no financial, it's
Mhm.
like I put YouTube videos up for a long time before any
Yeah.
ad revenue
You did
came
music
on.
around Boston, you said
I
too?
did, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
Okay.
played a lot of acoustic shows, and
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
made my I had a 2-bedroom apartment and made one a studio, and had people come in and just kind of recorded and engineered folks around the city,
Mhm.
which ended up being an amazing thing, because a lot of like the bottleneck for a lot of people on YouTube is like they have to hire audio video companies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like I could just write something, record it, edit it, and send it out. So
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
the scale there was really helpful.
Mhm.
Okay.
But yeah, that was sort of the beginning of that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Then at what point, to go to the phrase burn the boats, like at what point did you really like jump headfirst in where you're like, you were scared? Was there a point where, or did it slowly transition where you started to make money doing content creation and you transition, or did you jump head into any?
So let me be clear. There are times where I'm still scared.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's the upside
Mhm.
is so much more when you're not, but there are times where, you crave safety and security
Yeah.
and
Yes.
retirement and a 401k and all these things. Like, that's not awful to have, right?
No.
But it's like I'm trading that for the upside.
Right.
But I remember, uh, yeah, like it was like leaving my job, interviewing for similar jobs, and then the interviewing kind of slowed down. I'm like, I don't really want to do this, and the people that love me the most are kind of sending me sending me job opportunities. Eddie,
Just
this
in
is here,
case,
this
here you
is
go.
Justin, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, my parents, who again, like, I'm just forever grateful. Like,
Yes.
it was a weird thing. I didn't understand it, so how could they understand it?
Mhm.
And they're
Yeah.
kind of like, dude, what are you doing?
Mhm.
I'm 26, like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm making videos, mom, like,
Yeah.
and it's just like, it's stressful. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But you just kind of like, I have this moment where it's like, have you ever let yourself fail? Like, have you ever
Mm.
metaphorically just thrown yourself down the stairs and said, that's it? No. So like, but there's this fear in my head that like, this is going to be the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, just try, just go down this road, and God forbid
Yeah.
the wheels fall off the wagon. Find another data analyst job somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, the world's
Yeah.
not going to stop
Right.
turning,
Yeah.
and it was just getting past
Mhm.
that. You start building proof, and traction, and these things take time. And then the people around you go, oh, okay. Like, I get it, and it's just like, it's just getting through that, like, that initial resistance and hurt.
Mm.
And then things start kind of snowballing in a good way.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know,
The quote, nobody's gonna believe in you until you believe in yourself.
it's
Like,
true.
that has been, oh man. And as I've talked to you a couple times about imposter syndrome, and I've learned the value. Like, the second I'm feeling confident myself, though, it's like everybody I talk to, it's very apparent, and yeah. Did you have you always felt like you were confident in what you were doing, or now has it been up and down?
It's up and down,
Yeah.
and like, there are tricks. Like, I mean, you certainly earn confidence in yourself over time.
Yes.
I mean, you have to believe that you can, and you're like, you can be the guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's like, you add value to enough people, and you do it long enough, and you sharpen your axe, and just
Yep.
become, so like, you become that thing. And but there are certainly times, it's funny because it's like, the more people you help, the more opportunities come your way.
Mhm.
And that usually brings people that are pretty successful in their own right.
Yes.
And then you step into the room with those guys, and you can't help but look around and go like, should I be here?
Yeah.
Right. And it's this like continuous thing where you're
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
growing into yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. That's part of the process. That's kind of like, you learn to trust yourself, and you learn to say, yeah, I should be here. And what I'm doing
Mhm.
is powerful, and I'm on a mission, and I want to help people. And but it's not like you wake up one day and go, I have all the effing answers.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
Right.
journey for
And you gotta
sure.
believe in yourself at least a little bit, or else you wouldn't keep going.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, when you started writing, like, did anything happen to you in your life where you're like so in depth and so like everything's like very emotional and like so like in tune with like energy and like beautiful stuff in life? Like, have you always
Thank you.
been like that?
Um, no, and this is what's interesting. Like, I think you can really make the biggest impact when you do what you love, what you're good at, and what adds value. And I just realized, like, that's my thing, right? So like, I use the example of like math,
Mhm.
just because it's, everyone understands it. And so in school, like, if I worked my ass off, I could get a B plus, A minus in math, but I'm talking work. And so, like, if I dedicated my life to that, could I be good? Yeah. Way above average? I don't know, maybe. But there are people who naturally think that way and love that, and
Mhm.
that's their world, and
Mhm.
they'll always beat me.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, this is like, I'm born here. Biologically, I'm conditioned to crush here. I love it. I want more of it. And
Mhm.
it's just your thing. And I do believe everyone has that lane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, and again, like, I'm not saying if you suck at math and you want to do math and that's your thing, like in this theoretical example, do it. But I think like if impact is the goal, everyone's got their special thing. And
Right.
so writing to me was my special thing. And I didn't realize till, I'd always like written songs with my friends and stuff. But like, it started like I would compose like a background music on Pro Tools, and I just loop it in my head. And while the music's playing, it just sort of opens up this creative thing where I'm just writing and I'm like, this just feels good flow. Like it's just coming through me. You feel like you're a vessel.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the light bulb comes off. So I really stumbled into it, and it prompts me to tell people when they ask, you have to try things, because there's no world
Right.
where I could be like, I'm going to, when I'm older, play music on loop and write about the lessons that I've learned. Like, it just doesn't work like that.
Right.
So it's like push till you find that sweet spot, and then go all in on your sweet spot.
Cool.
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to know if there's anyone that you hold really like high that really influences you and really like hits you like in the heart, and you're like, you look up to them. Like, who's your person?
Yeah, from a lot of different realms. I mean, in the personal development space, I gotta say Jim Rohn, just because he's like this perfect combination of like spiritual, metaphysical, and also like extremely practical. Like somehow he just
Okay.
kind of blends them all. Um, a lot of music. Like people give me shit about this, but I think John Mayer's like one of the most.
Okay.
My rationale is he's basically the Jimi Hendrix of our time, and it's just under the radar. People don't know that because they think your body's a wonderland, right? The guy is just
Yeah.
murders the guitar,
Yeah.
but also can write a pop song in a way that's really captivating and emotive and intelligent, and combines the two. And I'm like, no one's doing that. That's not a thing. So like stuff like that really inspires me.
Yeah.
I recently, this was cool. I went to was actually with my girlfriend for her birthday. Elenium was playing at the Sphere in Vegas.
Okay.
And he's like a sort of, I don't even know what you call the genre. I think EDM.
Okay.
I've never heard anything in that genre. And I went, and it was like this story. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. It was this story of like light versus dark, and fighting your demons and overcoming. I mean, he suffered from addiction, so it was like overcoming that. And it's like these two angels, like, and then the music was incredible. And I'm like, this is so, and so like you can do so much with art.
Yeah.
So I've been just consuming his stuff like crazy now. And there's always a thing, always a thing to pull from. So I bounce around a little bit.
No, you're good. As far as people that you've had the opportunity to, I guess, meet in this journey that you've been on, has there been anybody that's just significantly changed your perspective on life?
Ooh, that's a fun one.
That is a good one.
I have a friend. Well, I guess like everybody for a different reason. So one of my friends, he was a business partner for a while.
Okay.
And we've stayed in touch, but Terry, who I've talked about in different videos before, just because he's so relentless in what he wants. Like one of my favorite stories about him is like, we were doing yoga in we were living in South Florida, and there was this woman in the class that he just was like super attracted to, and we were all getting coffee together, and she was single and he was single, and he would ask her out, and she'd be like, no. And
hard to get.
laugh it off, and the next week we do yoga, we'd be having coffee. He's like, so you and I dinner? No, Terry. And we get in the car, and I'm like, bro, like, listen, I love you and I want you to win, and I'm just always in your corner, but at some point, and he's like, Eddie, she only has to say yes once.
I love that.
And they're engaged.
Yeah.
And so it's
Oh my gosh,
like that's
what?
just a microcosm of
I
like,
love that so much.
That's cool.
it's just that's just mentality, and he teaches me to
Oh,
just
wow. Yeah.
or my friend Justin now, who's just the craziest, like he's CEO of an apparel company and also working with me and works harder than anyone I've ever met. And it makes you think like, how do you find the time and the
Yeah.
energy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Eric, my training partner, who's just like so mission driven. He cares so much about helping people that he'll cry after a workout, like embracing somebody.
Yeah.
It's just, so I just pull things from people, and it's, that's why it's so important, like we were saying, to have special people around
Yeah.
you,
Well, it's like you always talk about everyone you come across, you kind of take a little bit of them with you.
Yeah.
So you immediately made me think of Brett Miller when you were talking about your buddy Eric. So, and I got to do a shout out to Brett Miller. So Brett Miller was a special operations medic who he ran into a hard point in his life. He was present in Europe during the ethnic cleansing of Bosnia in the 90s. He's seen the worst of the worst.
Wow.
And he was incredibly suicidal. He wrote a book talking about this, and he had a friend of his reach out to him at the right time. He was dealing alcoholism, and he has since started a company called 110 Fitness right outside of Boston, where he treats Parkinson's, people that are dealing with Parkinson's, and he has been treating them with physical fitness for I don't know how many years.
Talk
but,
about a mission,
dude.
Yeah.
But
wow,
we went there last spring to record with him and Jordan Rich, who is a radio broadcaster that has Parkinson's that we become friends with, and we had the privilege to watch him run his class. And the majority of the people with Parkinson's are older.
Okay.
Parkinson's, I think it's generally hitting the older. I guess it's hitting and affecting people that are younger as time has been progressing. Nobody knows why, but when you see that enthusiasm and that love that this guy has for what he does, I mean, it literally brought tears to our eyes just watching him, man. And
And just watching his people, do that with him.
Oh, dude,
and they're like kind of showing
cute.
off a little bit because they know that we're watching.
Yeah.
They're like 80s maybe.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just so
awesome.
adorable,
It was
man.
so
Yeah.
nice to watch
And,
that, and it was really just cool to see that there's a place that really cares for people that are going through that kind of stuff.
And
'Cause I've never really heard of a place that could really help them.
Well, and I think seeing, that's one of many examples, but seeing like somebody being able to add value to other people, dedicating his life to it and be successful doing it. And that made me realize when we've started doing this, and I don't know if this is what we were meant to do, is podcasting, and maybe this will transition into something else, who knows, but like there's so much abundance out there to not only make money, but make money while helping other people to redistribute that money back into it to hopefully help more people.
Right.
And if everybody had that mindset, like imagine how much better this world could be right now. Rather than just people trying to, for self-interest, trying to profit off things, which is scary. And you get into the content field now, it's like things have been going really good for us as far as, we're not making any money doing this. We're spending a lot of money doing this, but it gives us purpose.
Okay, you guys are gonna laugh at this reference, but I watched La La Land recently. It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay,
Like
never seen it.
It's such a mind, like, I don't know. You got to see it, and I think you'll get value from it. But there's the main character in there is like he's obsessed with jazz, and it's a dying. He frames it as sort of a dying art, and he wants to start this jazz club. And the crux of the thing is like at some point he gets disillusioned, and he's like, "This isn't going anywhere. I can't do this anymore. No one likes jazz." And the female character goes, "No, people will like it because you like it. Because when you're insanely passionate about something, it just shines through, and you're able to help so many people that way." And you're talking about your podcast, it's new, it's not making money yet, but like the right things are turning. Like you love it, and you're having amazing conversations, and you're traveling, like you guys are excited about it. Dude, that is like, to me, that's what matters, not because it's fluffy and cliche, but because that turns into massive value add. That turns into money. That turns into everything. You know what I mean?
Yes. And you brought it back to where I was going with it. So where I was going was like things are like going good for us right now. And now that things are going good, it's like AI is around the corner. And it scares the living hell out of me because, I mean, right now you can have video footage that's essentially, it can recreate anything.
That's crazy.
And
It's scary.
It's like, I'm hoping to God that the crave for authenticity
Yeah.
stays, And I think it will for some people, but hopefully there's going to be enough of that crave.
It's
And
kind of like the people can make music and like amazing songs with
have
AI.
you played around with AI music at all?
No,
It's
but I've seen some of the
Eddie,
Yeah.
I downloaded Suno, and I don't even want to. I don't want to promote Suno, but I downloaded Suno. Just I'm like, honestly, I want to do background music, and I'm like, rather than subscribing to a place that probably uses AI to create it, I might as well just see what
do
I
it
can do.
yourself.
And I made a song with lyrics and everything, and I was like, actually on the way to the airport to come here, I played a song to my dad, and my dad's like, he has a flip phone, you know,
Okay.
he's a hunter fisher. I
Yeah.
played this song for him. He's like, oh, who's singing this? I'm like, Dad, this is fully synthetic. And like, he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, like what you're hearing right now, everything's fake. It's all generated. I
So
made that
crazy.
with maybe 5 minutes. I made this song. I generated
Yeah.
lyrics using AI, and I'm like, and it's cool. It's you listen to it, it's good, and I'm just like, what is that doing? Like, are we meant to listen to that? Are we meant to see the synthetic content in
I
like?
feel like no matter what, that's bound to happen. The future is just like gonna get like that. But like you said, people are gonna wanna. I love going to a restaurant and having live music.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
people are gonna
yeah.
want
Mm.
that.
I mean, that in our lifetime, there will be synthetic robots.
Robots playing the live music.
We'll be like, is this real? Or
Yeah.
that guy's really good. Is that, and like,
Yeah.
it's just, we're
Yeah.
living in a time that is, there's unlimited things to have anxieties over.
I'm just-
However,
I just feel so thankful that I grew up when I did, and I was outside
Same.
riding bikes,
Same.
right?
Yeah.
can you imagine
Like-
being like a 12-year-old right now, whereas he's never going to know what it's like to see a movie or see a video of something and not have to think, is this real or not?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We had that, oh,
Yeah.
I saw a video, of course that's real.
Yeah.
And
Or
we're-
being bored. It's
Yeah.
like so important, and kids cannot be bored anymore because they like freak out.
you got the dopamine hit of just
Yeah.
being constantly engaged.
It's
And
gonna be tough to work through. Like
yeah,
Mhm.
30 years, no one's gonna have attention spans. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
yeah,
I've seen mine trickle down for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
actively work. It's tough, like
Mhm.
because when you're on those,
Mhm.
you're. It's like you work there, but you can't get high in your own supply. It's like post and get off. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
yes.
Mhm.
But yeah. But yeah, the AI thing is like, I mean, this is not an area where I'm an expert. But I've had to spend time thinking about it because of where I am and what I do, and I cling to the idea that like art is human,
Yeah.
and it's about that connection and the human experience, and like I think these. I don't know. Hopefully, these AI tools become just that, tools.
Mhm.
But I mean, we've seen, so like my work, for example, there are channels, and it's creepy to say, plenty of them, that like write speeches in my voice,
Mm.
clone my voice,
Mhm.
put them out. And like you can kind of tell now, like maybe 20% of it sounds a little weird,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but that's now. Who knows 3 months from now, right? And so.
Right.
I've had to ask, well, how can you get ahead of that? Like, because that's the game. It's adapt or
Mhm.
die. You can throw a tantrum and lose, or you can figure it
Yeah.
out. And so, what I'm working on doing is like more immersive, 20 to 25 minute videos where I'm out in the world, because AI can't be me doing a 100-mile hike.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
how can we integrate that into a story with music and be evolving?
Yeah.
And I do think that's why, like, I'm sure you guys are aware, like, all social media is pushing towards raw camera to face. Like, it used to be really special how cinematic and produced my stuff looks. Now it's a detriment.
Mm.
And so I'm unlearning a lot of this stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's like, how do
Wow.
I just grab the phone and talk?
Yeah.
Because computers can do that now. So
Mhm.
yeah, it makes you think as a
Yeah.
content creator, how can you be one step ahead of this? And still be adding value to people that need what you have to say. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting. It's kind of scary.
Oh yeah, 100%.
wild game. Yeah,
Everything's like a cycle, though. I feel like in life,
Yeah,
like everything that you learned, you're like, I have all this information, but now I can't even like use it.
yeah.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
I know we got way off on a tangent. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Your kind of like where you're at now and how you got there. where did we leave off when you're talking about, we started talking about college and
So when did you start being like, I want to do this content stuff? Like how old were you? And really like why did you start that?
I just liked being creative. So like while I was working, I was kind of like building that home studio
yeah.
Mhm.
and making YouTube videos where I'm playing guitar and singing, or just making little videos and stuff. And then like the process went, I think I was 26, stepped away from that. I'm like, I'm just gonna do music for however long, right? Well, forever is what I told myself. And then started doing it, playing more, producing more, and it was hard. And for the first time in my life, like I'm sure it's not a surprise, like the bank accounts, like and
Mhm.
you just have this anxiety when you wake up in the morning, this sort of fight or flight that I've never had. I've been very lucky to not have. And I'm like, oh, this is the real world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is life in the big city. Um, and I started writing about those experiences and sort of coping with them. And I really enjoyed that and immediately started getting messages from people that were going through that. I'm like, okay, so there's something here in terms of value, but now how do I bring myself into it? Because like the creative thing is such an important part to me. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I have a very hard time doing something consistently if I'm not excited about it. And that's when I'm like, write the background music and make it a production,
Hmm.
and you get both. And then, you come to learn like we're not practical creatures, we're emotional. We're very
Mhm.
emotional.
Oh yeah.
And so you can't tell someone something. You have to make them feel it in order to
Yeah.
act. And that was sort of the beginning of it. And it's taken, if you look at my channel, I've taken some risks. I've done like some videos are horrendous, but like I'm proud of them still because
Right.
it's like had to go down that alley and go
Oh
oops and
man.
Showing
turn
growth,
around and
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's just been like a lot of experimentation and seeing what works and seeing what I like to do and still changing,
Yeah.
to this
Right.
day, still throwing things against the wall.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
this something I want to do is, talk about like doing something like on an adventure, recording it. So like I like downhill ski. My buddy of mine, we were supposed to over Miles.
Mm.
He was on our podcast beginning of last year. He lost his wife to cancer out of
oh man.
nowhere,
Mhm.
like a 3 or 4 month battle.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful story though, and honestly, I think he's inspired us to be as strong as we have been
For
navigating
sure.
our adversity. Because seeing him be strong with 4 little kids, beautiful
Mhm.
family. It's transitioned to us, but anyway, we're planning on going on a ski trip, clipping the mics, bring our cameras, and I was saying to her like, you don't have to record footage for the whole thing. We could record a podcast, like even while we're hiking, we could record a podcast, record our voice, and just overlay footage throughout it,
Oh yeah.
and I guess
That'd
in
be
a way
cool.
similar to what you already do. I didn't think about that, but actually having conversations like with her and I was thinking about doing
Well,
that when
That's a
we go
cool
to
idea.
Sedona, even.
I just want to forget that we have the mics though and just like be so real and talk about like stupid shit that we talk about,
Yeah,
or like just things that we notice and
yeah.
be us.
And I notice I get more reactions, like, and I do those. I was just talking to you a little while ago when I'm recording. If I'm driving to work and I threw my camera up, and it's that is the height of my insecurities when it's just me and the camera and I'm talking and hoping I make an impact and not worried about what I'm saying. And
Or look like it's like you record
yeah,
yourself and like, "Ah, I look stupid, delete,
yeah,
redo it.
yeah.
But you don't want to
Yeah.
do that. It's hard not to.
Rodney Norman talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Rodney Norman, he's a professional comedian. He was on our 19th podcast up, so I reached out to him on LinkedIn. I'm like, "Hey man, would you ever want to record a podcast?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm touring the East Coast right now. Where are you?" I said, "New York." He's like, mind if I'll come to your house this day? I'm like,
Okay.
That's convenient.
Okay.
all right. And
Yeah.
and if you haven't seen him, he's the one who's got the crazy hair. He's and he's doing quite well for himself. And
Yeah. He's such a good guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
having someone like that
funny.
believe in you has been I don't know,
Yeah.
that means a lot. I'll never forget that when we talk on a regular basis now.
That's cool. What does he do?
So he's a professional comedian, philosopher, and a lot of his stuff, and you've probably seen him. I mean, he's got millions and millions of views and stuff. a lot of his stuff is so simple. He plays the role of his alcoholic grandfather. And I think he's probably 55, 60 or so. He's a Marine Corps veteran, but he's got a big beard and like just crazy hair,
Hot
and
mess.
like,
Yeah.
and he talks really slow, and like, and it's hilarious. And
Oh my god, is that the guy that like
have a
he'll
super
like
freaking awesome day. And
yeah, he like pretends to be slow.
yes, yes,
Dude, he's messaged me before. That's
Really?
yeah. If it's the same guy I'm thinking of,
okay,
yeah, on TikTok.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
got like
yeah.
white
He's-
hair and it kind of comes out and up and like he's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I could pull a
funny.
picture of him.
So funny.
Yeah, people get mad at him because they believe him, right?
Yes,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
Dude.
And they think that is him. But when
Yeah.
he talks normal, you're like, he's just normal.
But he's like the most respectful,
Yeah.
like loving human being on this
Mhm.
entire planet. And
Yeah, he just wants everyone happy and
Yeah.
just
I
have
don't
a
know
good
if you see
day.
a little
Oh
photo.
yeah, yup.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so funny.
It's so it's funny, man. I just sent him a collaboration post on a reel like this past week, and it was about PTSD, and he was talking about how like PTSD is essentially, he kind of framed it as trauma as a choice. And people are like flipping out, saying you don't know real trauma and stuff. And it was on a conversation her and I are having with him. We recorded at a restaurant, and people are, they're shitting on him. You don't know PTSD, blah, blah. And like, he just lost his daughter to cancer
Oh, so he knows a thing or
last
two.
year.
Yeah.
She was like
Yeah.
29
Right.
years old. And so he's lost two
Man.
kids. So we have that, the empathy for each other where we get it. We understand what it's like.
Yeah.
But, I my favorite part of him, one guy's like, you're just trying to sell t-shirts. And what does he do? He sends him a link to his t-shirts. And like, and if people
Oh,
really
funny.
knew, and like if they
Yeah.
listen to any of the other part of the conversation, like there's nobody that will listen to this guy talk to me like that guy's not he's a great person.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
he's got a beautiful soul.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's funny.
That's
It is really
hell,
funny.
shout out to Rodney Norman. He'll
Yeah.
appreciate this.
We love him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to record a podcast, him and his wife next, because it was just him last time. But yeah, they're touring. They're all over the country,
I
and
can't imagine that being a
Yeah.
boring conversation.
Oh, I
That's for
know.
sure.
Oh my gosh.
For sure.
And he's so smart.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's cool.
yeah. He said he tricks people into learning philosophy. That's like his,
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
But
that's cool.
what are we at right now as far as time? 52 minutes.
Hmm.
Now I kind of wanted. What was your perspective? You got a couple coming out, flying across the country to see you, and like,
These people are crazy.
yeah.
No.
No, I do wonder like what goes on in your head when you're meeting people that you don't really know. But more importantly,
Yeah.
like obviously you knew what we're navigating in the past year. It's
Yeah.
like, and what are the odds of a husband and wife couple that do a podcast about overcoming adversity, go through what we've went through, which of course I looked up what the odds are using the AI, and it's like 1 in 2.5 billion. We have a better chance of hitting the lottery twice or struck by lightning like 8 times than going through the accident we went through. And it's like,
Wow.
my logic is, I am a man of faith, is like, God only gives you what you can handle, and he must have really high expectations of us. And so our only
Mhm.
option is to do good with it and to be an example for other people. But my question to you was just like, what were your thoughts when you heard about what we went through? Like, I don't know, or if you have any questions.
Yeah. Well, I
Put you
just
on the
remember.
spot, but
No, I mean it's just such a tragic thing that I couldn't empathize with it.
yeah,
And I remember, we talked. I was in Santa Monica, and I remember walking down the street, and I talked to a friend after, and told them about the conversation. I'm like, I'm worried because I didn't know what to say,
yeah,
and I was
Yeah.
worried like when you guys needed something, and we're in such a vulnerable place, like you just deeply want to help.
yeah,
And I'm like, I don't know that I was that. And my friend kind of reassured me. He's like, in those moments, like, listen, like, be there
Yeah.
because that
Yeah.
means the most. And
Mhm.
like that, gave me, this sort of, I don't know. It's just a whirlwind of emotions because that's a pain that I just,
oh yeah,
um,
yeah.
but I respect so much that, like, coming here, you asked what I thought about it. It's just like, it's so cool that you are turning your pain into purpose. And it's so cool how driven you are and willing to do things like this. And, you know, you don't have to, but you're just making this effort to put something positive and beautiful into the world, not despite, but because of that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's my thing, is I just really admire what you're doing, like from the bottom of my heart. I think it's
no,
really cool.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
And likewise, because like the impact that you're having on so many people that
Oh, for sure.
that are going through the thick of it right now that you have no idea that are, and it's like weird. I'm sure there's a way to check exactly how many people are streaming your stuff right now
Yeah.
or vice versa. And it's like, I don't know. And
Well, it's like all those people, I think on one of your like episodes or whatever, a girl wrote to you like in the comments, and it's basically just like you're helping so many people that you don't even know are so sucked into what you're saying that's really affecting them in such a good way. Like people reach out and leave comments and stuff, you know, or
Yeah.
to us too sometimes, which is awesome. And that's what we want. I want to know like the good and the bad. How do you feel about what we're saying? Is it helping you? Is it not? Like, what do you want us to talk about? But there's so many people out there that you're inspiring and you have no idea.
yeah,
It's humbling, because like you
Yeah.
think, here's something that, and there's some guilt there. It's like you do it because of the impact, but
Mhm.
like you can't be out on cloud nine. There's a pragmatic piece to it too,
Mhm.
right? And it's like there's I have a team of people, and a business to run, and I have to be able to pay my team, right? So I can't just not think about things.
Mhm.
And so I'll be like, well, how do I continue to scale impact? How do I grow, add more value? The AI thing, how do we change? And it's like, okay, I have to, instead of just writing and sharing my thoughts, be more interactive. And then you'll get a message from someone that's like, I was on my deathbed and I thought was the end, and like your message saved my life. And it's like, is it selfish to be thinking this way? Like, because if you're putting
Yeah.
something out that can do that, so it's like sometimes there's this push and pull
Mhm.
that I don't know what to do with. Like, and I'd be
Right.
lying if I said I had an answer. Like,
Mhm.
you got to evolve, because if you don't, you die. But also, like, there's innate good to what's being done now.
yeah,
Mhm.
So it's a fine line, and I think a balancing act. But I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
I really do.
yeah,
Well, it's kind of hard too sometimes. Like in my brain, I'm usually like annoyingly positive, and he used to be like, Monica, enough, because I'd be like, everything is gonna be okay, you know.
thank God, because
Yeah, but like as far as like the podcast stuff, it's like if we're not getting any positive feedback for like weeks and weeks and weeks, sometimes I'm like, are we making any impact? So like,
Mm.
do you feel like sometimes if you're not getting that feedback, that it's almost like that's what, it's not like you need it, but like why else are we doing it? We're doing it to help people. So if we're not getting that back, it's like, do we keep going?
I
You
mean,
know?
Matt alluded
But
to this.
yeah.
It took 7 years before I got
Right,
that spike,
right.
yeah,
right? And I think you are adding impact. And the crazy thing is, it takes one conversation or one random viral clip or being at the right place at the right time,
yes,
and things go from 0 to 60. But it's the reps. And I think
Mhm.
that question is very human.
Yeah.
And our instinct is to want to squash the discomfort, which is
Mhm.
why it's so important to shut the door.
yeah,
And because
Yeah.
if you say, well, there's a plan B, you know, 30 episodes from now, if it hasn't popped yet,
Mhm.
you start rationalizing,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
You don't realize, like, every time you sit down with someone, you're honing your craft and you're adding
Mhm.
value and you're growing and you're building this foundation. So, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like there were times where, and it's funny because I'm in the business of like taking my pain and shitty situations and sharing them and being like, and here's the lesson, right?
Mhm.
But there were mornings where I just felt like a loser. Like there's no other way to put it.
yeah,
I just got
Yeah.
up and just hated myself because I'm like, the story your brain tells yourself is all your buddies are succeeding, everyone else is
Mhm.
doing well, right?
Yeah.
And here you are, like with a failing YouTube channel.
yeah,
And you just have to shut that off and keep
Yeah,
marching,
right.
yeah,
It's kind of like when we go running, Like we run one way and in order to get home, you have to run the back way or like go
Yeah.
back. And it's kind of like you have to keep going. And I'll be like, I'm
Got it.
tired, my knees hurt. And he'll be like, just run through it. You got this.
Mm.
Like I have no choice. So it's like, that's a mindset that I try to have is like, we have to just keep going with this. Like, I don't want to quit.
Oh, it's not easy. I've had so many times, a lot. It's weird. Like we talked about this briefly, I think through a voice note, but I am the type of person, like, especially now, especially since we started this journey, it's like if I have a friend of mine or somebody I see that's trying to do their own thing, even if they've just started, I'm overly supportive.
Yeah.
But I've had, some friends and people that I just thought for sure they would be so excited for our excitement and what we're doing.
Yeah.
Whereas it's been crickets. And like the only time I hear anything is when there's something that's undeniably cool. And
Yeah, wait till you pop off. They'll be back.
oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
And I've thought about that too, whereas like it's like,
Yeah.
dude, I haven't heard nothing from you in 2 years. Now all of a sudden you're
Yeah.
like, supportive, and it's fine. It is
It's
what it is.
whatever,
And
yeah.
like you said, like things don't even bother you anymore. And I've gotten to a point now where I'm kind of in my own lane and I'm doing my own thing. And whether or not I get a reaction out of somebody, I for the most part don't care. But there's certain people that are in your life that you just like, dude, like we've been in it through, especially knowing what we've been through. Like I would
Mhm.
think for sure at this point.
Well, you and I differ a lot though, because like I don't care.
Yeah,
if,
I know.
I just don't care if people like even if they're like my family are not like clapping, for us. It's just because we're doing it for everyone, but we're doing it for us too to help
Sure.
everyone.
Yeah.
So and not everyone's going to be for everyone. We're
Yeah.
not.
Oh,
not
and
everyone
that's
is going to like you or what you're doing, and that's okay. This world is. What? Go ahead.
no, it's funny hearing you say that because like I think I heard that from something you've said. Like one of the hardest lessons learned is realize that you're not going to be for everybody.
Mhm.
Was that something?
Yeah.
You,
Oh, yeah.
it is-
It's so true. It's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
But I I do remember, and we did on the voice note, we were sort of relating to this. Like that was one of the things because it just feels so vulnerable. Like when
Yeah.
you're doing this and it's new and
Yeah.
it's like a thumbs up from a buddy would mean a lot.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, "Where are you guys?"
Yeah.
And they would and like it seems trivial, right? And in a way it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I remember like some of my best buds from college, like they would even comment in the group chat about it, like, "Hey, nice, whatever."
Mhm.
And I'm like, dude, hit thumbs up on the thing. Like there's one like on it from my grandmother.
little
It'll make me
thing.
feel
Yeah.
better,
Right.
But like
That's so funny.
you start
Yeah.
to depersonalize it and you
Yeah.
realize like people are just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Right.
He's not like, oh, screw him, right?
Mhm,
Everyone's
right.
just trying
Yeah.
to. And when you
Mhm.
do that and realize it's not personal, so much of life is realizing adversity is not personal.
Yes.
It does sort of free you
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
it took me a couple of years to like really feel comfortable with that,
Yeah.
it's just okay. It's all right,
Right.
Yeah.
But I think like a lot of people starting, like they're going to go through that storm. So it's
Mhm.
great that we're talking about it. They're
Yeah.
going to feel that and they're going to feel that hurt and wonder why. And it's like, it's
Mhm.
just humans being humans. They're doing their things. You'll have some great friends that show support no matter what.
Yep.
Hold on to them,
Yeah.
but they're very much the exception and keep doing you.
Yeah.
And, things come back around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit more about AGNS and my perspective on it and the outside looking in because
Oh, cool.
I love it. That is me to a T. Is like I talk about being grateful.
Mhm.
I talk about it every single day
Yeah.
because everybody takes everything for granted. It's just how much do you take things for granted? How present can you be? You can do your best to be present, and some people better than others. But like I take her for granted every day of my life, and I try not to. And I'm a pretty appreciative person, so I'm not saying like I'm bad to her necessarily, but like it sounds funny when it's phrased like that, but
Yeah.
no, man, like if you're like I use this example, my mom and I had a conversation. I said something about taking things for granted. She's like, you don't take things for granted. I'm like, no, mom, if today was the last day of your life on this planet and you were to treat somebody different because it's the last day that you had with somebody, I'm like, then therefore you take them for granted,
Sure.
in my opinion. And I am.
Well, we're all human and we all
Yes.
do, but I think it's the first greatest step is to recognize that
Yes.
and realize that, hey, I'm taking this for granted, but I'm trying not to, and I'm thankful for this or that.
Yes, and the flip side of it, the never satisfied part, because it is so important to, like, yes, be grateful for what you have, but strive for more, be better, push yourself, do something hard every day. I've been really focusing on that, especially with my son, and
Yep.
like, there's a lot of people like comfort, man.
Yeah.
People like comfort, and I understand it. I get it. I would love to on a Friday night not be running through, negative
2 feet of
10 degree
snow.
weather. And you said you see stuff on TikTok, so you may be coming in this conversation with this part blind, but like, man, I've ran in, literally it was negative 10 degrees. I did about 8 miles through slush, and like,
That's badass.
doing those hard things like that, is it comfortable? Absolutely not. However, you don't get cold. I did find out you don't need a lot of clothes to stay warm, even in negative 10, as long as you have enough wind blocking. But
Under Armour's great technology. You just go
man,
right out there.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
But no, I love the apparel brand, and I want to give you a chance to kind of just talk about it. And
Cool.
why was it your idea? Was it a collaboration of a?
Yeah, well, I want to because I don't want to lose this thought. There's
Yeah.
one thing that I've talked about it on some videos, so you might have heard me say it, but
Okay.
I do think there's degrees of comfort, and this blows my mind because it seems like we're wired relatively the same way. Like
Yeah.
we like that push, and it invigorates us, and I think everyone needs it to some extent. But I always point to like one of my best friends, Chris, who is doing the corporate thing, right? He's got a house in the suburbs, 2 beautiful kids and a wife. He's making his way up the corporate ladder, very successful, great bonus every year, just crushing.
Yeah.
And he'll say to me, month over month with like fluctuations in ad revenue, I'd be like, I don't know how you live with that much uncertainty. Like I would rather die. Like I know. And to him, perfection is coming home at 4:30 and being with his kids and providing for them. And that was when the light bulb switched, when it's like, again, so much of my growth has been realizing like a lot of it's biology. People are just wired to want and need different things. Now that said, if you never push, you never grow. So I'm not saying that, but to the degree we are.
Yeah.
Like to put backpacks on and go across the country and interview someone for no money. Like not a lot of people are going to do that,
Yeah.
right? And so it's foreign to a lot of people, but yeah, it's just, I think the degrees of risk necessary to fulfill someone are different.
Yes.
And that sort of changed the way that I've thought, which ties into always grateful, never satisfied, where the idea, I think you can be on either side of the spectrum. Too comfortable, too much risk, not enough grounding. For me, it was always thinking about what's next, going through these things where it's like more growth, impact, you can be better, you can squeeze out another drop. And it's like you forget to look over your shoulder and realize like you've come pretty far, man. You're helping a lot of people, dude. Like you're doing great. And if you don't have that balance, you're just never going to be happy. It's like carrot on the treadmill,
Yeah.
And so I think it is the perfect reminder, like be grateful for everything in your life, but also the beauty of life is pushing it and pushing yourself. So find that balance. It's a perfect dichotomy. And yeah, the name actually comes from my business partner, and one of my best friends now, Justin, who I mentioned. He's been in the apparel world for a long time. He's worked at Adidas, very high up at Go Ruck. Now he's CEO of another apparel company. And I was going to him. I'm like, hey, I want to make some badass Your World Within merch, because the stuff that I'm making, those companies like where you send them a logo and they fulfill it and send it out. It's just like not great quality stuff. I'm like, I want to take this up a level. And he kind of positioned it. He's like, well, what if we teamed up on something? Like, what if we brought in some A players to really make this special? And that's where the idea came from. And it's been amazing because he's, bringing in his expertise and I'm in my lane. And, Eric, who joined on the fitness academy side, is in his lane. And everyone's got their superpower. And I've never seen never been in an organization where things are that fluid. So it's been really fun. And we're just
all the puzzle
Firing on
pieces
all
are together,
cylinders.
and it's
Yeah.
making
Fun
this awesome
seeing it
picture.
grow.
I
Yeah.
saw. I'm actually been a Cam Haynes fan for a couple of years now,
Oh,
so I'm
cool.
familiar with him and his son, is it Truett Haynes.
Truett's a
I
beast.
recently started watching some of his stuff, but no, and I saw Cam. I believe he like endorsed or something with AGNS.
Yeah, Eric trained him for like a decade,
Oh wow!
and he was with Truett when Truett broke the pull-up record.
Okay,
So
Wow.
yeah, he knows them well.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, he speaks really highly of Cam. Like I know Cam from
Aw.
just some internet clips and stuff. But yeah, he really speaks highly of Truett and Cam.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. I'm excited to meet Eric. Hopefully, is he going to be there tomorrow?
yeah. You ready?
No.
Oh man.
It'll be a blast. It'll be fun.
When I message
Full
you
of
that, I'm
myself.
like, we need to be able to walk when we go to Sedona. That's my only ask.
Yeah, you'll be waddling up the hill, you know.
That's scary.
No, I'm pretty excited, man.
It'll be
That'd
funny.
be cool.
It'll be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, he has this thing where it's like you're not meant to be perfect. Like you're supposed. He integrates things where you're supposed to collapse for a second, take 5 seconds, and jump back in. And he positions it where when you do that, you give thanks because you just put yourself in a position to max out.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I love that
Yeah.
that mentality. I think that's really
I loved it when I heard you mention how he like, or no, I think I heard you put a clip of him like praying, like being like, thank you God for allowing us to suffer.
Yeah.
And dude, that just resonated so deeply with me when I heard that. And I've kind of implemented that. Sometimes I'll be running with her or something like that, and I was like, hey, like this sucks, and just God, thank you for allowing us to be able to do this together.
Isn't it crazy to think about like how many people
So
would
crazy.
kill to be
Yes.
able
Dude,
That's
hurt
what we
like
think
that?
about now all the time. Like hiking
wild.
yesterday, I'm like, I'm like laughing and like running down the trails, and I'm like, this is awesome. I can do this, and I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, and while you're talking, it kind of got me thinking about the definition of success. My definition is it's very different than what it used to be, and like that's the thing. Like I need to be like, hey, like right now, right this second, like I need nothing else. I'm financially stable. I am able to travel and have conversations with people, and it's like, and paraphrasing something that I've heard also through one of your shows is like, how many people never get to experience waking up in the morning and being truly in love looking at the person next to them.
Ooh.
Like that is and 'cause we've had this relationship, and I think that's a lot of the reason why I decided to do a podcast with her is because I've had people say like, yeah man, like you guys and your chemistry, it's like it's not normal. Like we're going on 10 years this year, and like we still love each other like we did when we
Congrats.
had our
That's so
honeymoon. Like,
awesome. That's
yeah.
so awesome.
Oh man. And also while we've been navigating, custody battle for like 2 years, that it was dark. And when I say this to people don't understand. They're like, I don't know what was more challenging, navigating that or going through a process of losing my kids. Like very different adversity, but like I don't know. Going through adversity that's completely preventable is very different. And that's something that is just so inherently frustrating. But to my point though, like navigating this stretch of time of just going through a lot of difficult, I never questioned our relationship. There's never a point where I'm like, man, she can't handle this. I'm worried about her leaving type of thing.
Well, I feel like that would almost be like the perfect opportunity for someone to be like, I'm out. I cannot do this because it was so bad and it was so hard, and it did put stress on us, of course. But I'm like, why would I leave someone I love so much when he's going through this time? Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like I could never. And it goes back to like my past. Like I already built my armor. I'm good. I'm strong. I'm his rock now. So I could never in a million years would have popped in my head that I have to leave.
That's so
Like,
cool.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of circling back to some real quick, I think it's worth mentioning because I don't know. We didn't talk for a whole lot, so I probably didn't tell you this. Like Max and I, we in April of last year, like she turned everything around. She was doing good. Like she's all the animosity, all the bitterness was gone. It just vanished, and it took a while. It wasn't like immediately like, oh yeah, things are good now and we're getting along. No, I was skeptical at first for a bit, and then we ended up settling out of court, and then like we were co-parenting, and like everything was so good, dude. And I remember laying in bed. I remember just like I said to her, I'm like, everybody we love and care about is healthy. Everything is so good in life right now. Like it's just everything's so good. And the Sunday before the accident, we make sure I'm not losing
Okay.
anything here, but yeah, no, we went to church, like, and my ex, she went to the same church as we went to, which was there's a whole story behind that. It was, at first it was like it was a lot to swallow, but after a while it was like, hey, what if she needs this? She ended up coming into church though on the Sunday before the accident, and we actually asked her if she wanted to sit with my late son Tyler and I, and she came and went and sat next to my son. Like, and if people had any idea how much animosity that was there prior to this, and I guess the lesson learned is like the power of forgiveness though.
Right.
Yeah.
People have no idea. It's so easy to hate and be up.
Yeah, but like 9 times out of 10, people that are like that, it's not you. They're not necessarily angry with you. It's like themselves. And I
In
really,
pain.
really hardcore believe that.
Yeah, people just going through things, and
Right.
it's easy to project it outwards.
Right.
Stuff, but
It was just like in church, it was Natasha, Tyler, me, and then Matt all sitting together. It was like such a powerful moment.
thank God.
What a
Like-
miracle
like,
to have shared
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Thank God it ended on that note rather than like 6 months prior when all
Right.
the hatred and all that stuff was
Mhm.
there. So, yeah, just wanted to circle back to that. I don't know if I shared that with you or not. Though,
No, I never knew that. That's beautiful.
It is. But yeah, no, this is great, man, and I thank you for allowing us in your place. And
Well, I just want to know like your goals now. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what do you want? What do you see that you really, really want for like the future? Which is, if it's like a few months from now or years from now.
Yeah, I think there's a sort of a philosophical answer and a little, I mean, the courage to keep evolving, because
Mhm.
I've noticed like the more stability you get, the harder it is to take risks.
Okay.
And
yeah,
so,
right.
it's important that I continue to push and push and push. I think how that looks, I mean, hopefully 10 years from now looks different than I could even imagine,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
I would love to get more into the creative visual audio side of things and continue to grow AGNS in a way that
Yeah.
resonates with people and they truly get the message and become part of that movement. I think that would be
Yeah.
wild success,
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Cool.
yeah. And I am truly grateful that you guys, this has been just such an awesome conversation. And I'm
I
just so
enjoyed it. It
grateful
was
that you're here
very
and
cool.
special. So thank you.
Yeah.
No problem, man. I guess we can go get some lunch, and I don't know. Do you still plan on going to lunch? You
Let's
want to
do
go
it.
grab that?
Yeah,
let's do it. All right.
absolutely.
Sounds good.
Hey, thanks.
That's the best podcast ending ever. Time for grub, baby.